Hey everybody, Onepeg here with another little newsy news update. Just for full disclosure, this one's a little bit atypical in that it's primarily centralized around a pretty major bug that has to do with the hideout. I'm not showing this to you because I expect there to be some kind of crazy mob mentality going after Nikita on Reddit and all this other craziness that's been going on as of late. I fully believe that the devs know about this already and they're working on it. If they don't, I'm sure that somebody at the point in time that this video comes into existence will have made him aware of it. If they're not aware of it by now, I'd be amazed. The reason why I am showing this to you is so that you guys, at least in the Tarkov sense, don't start or continue to be burning money, because that's what has been happening and will continue to happen as long as this bug persists. If you guys gaming in Tarkov or anything like me, it goes without saying almost that it makes sense to try and level the hideout as fast as possible without going broke at the same time. We don't want to set anybody back, but the benefits to leveling up the hideout work out pretty well for us in the long run, especially when you start getting to things like the Bitcoin farm, the water filtration, and the booze generator, because those things end up generating a pretty significant amount of money and don't really have much of a cost on the way in. As we do that, we level 2 skills now that was introduced. Midway through 12.8, there were these 2 skills that were introduced called crafting and hideout management. Now, the way that they're leveled is by crafting stuff and upgrading stuff inside of your hideout. And the perk for getting through to the max level of crafting skill is pretty amazing. For a quick overview of what crafting is and does, we'll just go straight to the wiki page. And on the wiki page, you can see that crafting is a practical skill that decreases the item craft time, decreases time of cyclic production of moonshine and water, not Bitcoin though. And at the elite level, you get the ability to craft up to 2 objects in any of the crafting stations at the same time. Now that is substantial, because for those of us that are trying to make stuff, it pretty much cuts crafting times of other items in half. Because if you have things that are kind of like on deck to be crafted next, especially for the really long craft stuff, like imagine the ability to be able to craft like an RFID reader and a violet key card at the same time, or any of the other stuff that you have the ability to do. And there are 2 different ways to level this skill. The first one is you get 2.5 points every time that you finish the crafting of an item. And the second way is for every 8 hours that a crafting station spends crafting, you get 1 point of experience. Seems pretty straightforward. So if we wanted to level this as fast as possible, by the way, you have to alternate crafts. You can't craft the same item continuously in a row. So if you're going to try and level this as fast as possible, it goes without saying that you would want to craft the items with the shortest durations, right? For instance, on the lavatory, you have the ability to craft a GP5 gas mask into a green filter that takes less than 2 minutes. And there's also another craft that takes about 24 minutes where you use a ream of paper and make that into a couple of toilet paper rolls. So the total cycle takes a little bit less than 26 minutes if you were right on the button every single time. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. I mean, that's how it works on paper, but that's not how it works in the game. Because this huge-ass bug, and I mean huge bug. I don't want to, like, split hairs and say that this is like, you know, whatever. If you're trying to level the hideout, doing what you've been doing with the short duration crafts, complete waste of time. It's a complete waste of time. So for the purpose of this, let's say we want to craft a GP5 gas mask. So we go to the flea market, we find our GP5, we buy that for 30K because that's what they're going for now, partially due to the fact that these crafts are giving the XP that they're giving in such a short period of time. We then go to our hideout. And just for the purpose of this, because we want to make sure that we're leveling our skills, right? We're going to scroll all the way down and we're going to take a look at hideout management, which is at 56, and crafting, which is level 7 at 72.6 out of 80. So it's 72.6. I just wrote that down on my notebook. So we go to our hideout, we're going to our lavatory, and we're going to craft the GP5 into a green filter, which is step 1 of the 26-minute cycle, right? Now, at this point, you're like, well, just tell me what's wrong. Crafting XP is no longer accumulating. It hasn't accumulated the right way since the beginning of 12.9. Now, I know that you saw that I'm at level 7, but the reason why I'm at level 7 is because I was getting XP from other stuff. So I'll show you, but there you go. That's what you wanted to know, right? You're not generating crafting XP. If you want to know why, you know, stick around for the end. Okay, so here we are with the filter production completed. You can see production completed. It just ended. And we'll go back to the character pane and look at the skill real fast to show you that I haven't gained any XP yet. 72.6 out of 80 still. We go back to the hideout. We take out our filter that is now done. Then I go back to my character pane because our filter is in my inventory now. See, filter's right here. We go back to the skills pane, scroll down, and now you can see 75.1. So we gained 2.5 points of experience, right? Right. Well, here's the bug. Let's say that for whatever reason, the game resets you back to the menu. You leave voluntarily, you end up getting a 228, 227 error, 504 error, whatever. You pick your poison, or you go into a raid, scav raid or PMC raid, doesn't matter. Or let's say, just for the sake of argument, you decide I'm going to practice my Mark 18 skills on some scavs for a little bit, and you decide to go into an offline factory raid. All right? Let me be completely clear. The moment that you leave this side of Tarkov, meaning you're not raiding, you're just sitting in the menus, right? The moment that you leave those menus for whatever reason and either transfer out of the game or into a raid, you lose all of the crafting XP that you accumulated. All of it. So here we are. Bang, bang. Now I'm going to disconnect. And I wanted to be completely clear that while I'm transitioning between scenes right here like this, I haven't actually stopped the recording at all. This isn't any kind of fancy editing. I'm not trying to be funny or cheeky, okay? I'm just leaving this natural flow, all right? And I wanted to make sure I included this in the video so that nobody thought that I was trying to pull anything weird. Now we're loading back into the menu. So this is Tarkov logging us back into the game, right? We did an offline raid. It logged us out from whatever the matchmaking server is, whatever's going on with, you know, the HTML lobby, whatever side of things. Now it's logging us back in. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. All right. Now we go to our character pane, we look at our skills, and we should still have 75.1 points of XP. No, we don't. No, we don't. We're back to 72.6. No, we don't. This has been tested and brought to my attention. This was tested and brought to my attention, and I got my notebook right here, by Hunt Throwaway 678, the user on Reddit that made a Reddit thread, and I will link it to you so that you guys can go and read it for yourself, who has tested this over and over and over again. The only XP that sticks is the 1 point of XP per crafting station per 8 hours. So depending on however much crafting experience you have at this point, level 7, level 10, 15, whatever you're at, it is from the long duration worth of crafting that you have done on your hideout from the beginning of 12.9 up until this point. The only points of XP that stick from crafting items is on hideout management, which you get 1 point per completed craft, even if you end up cycling the same items over and over and over again. Completed crafts, 1 point of hideout management XP. Completed crafts on the crafting side, 2.5 points of XP that don't actually exist right now. Most everybody should always have crafting XP that is higher. Total accumulated crafting XP should be higher than that of hideout management. Instead, it's half. So how is this bug working? And this is completely speculation, okay? Complete speculation. But on the side of the crafting XP side and everything else, all of that stuff is done client side. And then there's like a ping that's sent out to the server to say like, hey, they added stuff to their stash, or stuff was removed from their stash, or they moved things around. When you go into a raid, you leave whatever server you're checking with. So you go into an offline raid, you log out of the game server or whatever and go into your offline raid. If you go into an online raid, you're still logging out of the game server and going into that. When you come back, it's like it forgot that you had crafted anything. You still get the crafting over time XP because that's time-bound, I guess, but you're not getting like the skill up stuff. The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention again is so that you guys will save your money, all right? Craft the things that are going to give you the biggest monetary benefit or the biggest utility benefit. Don't bother trying to churn out crafting XP gains right now because it's not going to do anything for you. It's going to take you about 255 days in order to be able to max crafting if you were to craft every minute of every day on every station that gives you XP over time. So enjoy. But hopefully they fix it soon and we'll be back to business. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. I hope you guys found this to be informative and educational and you don't kill the messenger. And I will see you in the next one, okay? Peace.